is up, everybody? Shadow Scout 0013 here, reporting in for some Legion news about Commander Cody. So, this is going to be awesome. I think he's great, and I think he's going to be very important for Gar because of his long range distance, what he can do with vehicles, and how strong vehicles are. But with everyone bringing impact, it's just, man, it's going to be tough. So, I'm going to go over a few different lists with him and a few different things that you guys can see, check out, some ideas, and, this is only like an overview, and I'm not necessarily a GAR player myself, but, I figured I could give you guys what I knew and just some extra ideas. So, before we do, I just want to invite you guys to the Discord, and if you guys want to, go ahead, head over there and just, sign up. It's just come on in, become a member, and post your lists or any kind of drafts, any kind of things that you want to. Everyone's been talking a lot about what's been going on with Jedis and with the things coming out for Legion, as well as Cody himself. So feel free to come on in, post your work, post what you're doing, anything. And it's just kind of awesome to see you guys doing stuff. And, all of you guys, thank you for being members already, too. And, go ahead and head to the Patreon and become a Patreon member there, too. And to get there, you're going to get everything early. You're going to get little extra videos. Anything else that I try to do, I'm going to try and put out. I did a Tauntaun unit breakdown, but I'm going to go ahead and come out with this one instead. And then the Tauntaun unit breakdown will come out later. And yeah, hopefully you guys, are enjoying it so far. And, thank you to the Patreon members that I do have already. Also, if you haven't already, go ahead and head to theburnacademy.com. For $15 a month, you can subscribe and download the app to get 3, 4, 5, and 6 day a week workout programs, corrective exercise programs, 30-minute torture programs, at home abs, 120 different recipes, coaching videos to kind of tell you what each thing is, as well as different variations that you can use out just, anytime you want to. So, all right, let's go ahead and take a look at the man himself, Clone Commander Cody, the leader of the 212th. He is 5 health, 2 courage with red dice saves. He does surge to crit, which is really, really nice with the dice pool that he does have. He doesn't surge to defense, but, that's very typical of clone armor. And then he's got speed 2. He's got a range 1 to 4, 2 red, a black and white, lethal impact 1 gun. So his DC 15A is almost kind of like a smaller short range sniper rifle. It is a red dice better than Gar Saxon's range 1 to 4 weapon. And, I really love this weapon. It's surging to crit. You're rolling 4 dice. And you don't have sharpshooter, but for the most part, you're probably going to get a surge in there somewhere. It's impact 1, and the amount of aims that you can get, or we can get onto Cody, lethal is going to be very possible. So he's going to be very deadly, especially at long range. He's got 2 red in melee, which is very nice. So these clone commanders can kind of take care of themselves. I mean, they're going to pack a punch is what I should say. So he's got a command slot, a training slot, and a gear slot, which is pretty simple. And there's lots of things that you can obviously put in there. And, there's different ways to kind of use them. And we'll kind of I'll go over that so you guys can get an idea of maybe some good upgrades on him. And yeah, go from there. So he has a free action to observe 2. So he'll be able to put 2 observation tokens on a unit. And whoever spends those tokens can re-roll a dice per observation token. So if you have 2, a friendly unit can shoot at that enemy that had it, and you can spend 1 of those observation tokens instead of 2 to re-roll 1, and then maybe you have another unit attack and use the second observe token. Yeah. So it's really nice. It's kind of like a small aim, or giving out a free aim, but you're putting it onto a unit that desperately needs to be taken down. He's got jump 1, which is fantastic, so he's going to be able to maneuver around pretty easily. He's got take cover 1, which is cool because he also has a gear slot, so maybe if there he's paired with the Saber Tank. If you were to give him portable scanners to give him take cover 2, that would be pretty nice to be able to just hand out dodges to everybody. And then he's got direct vehicle, so if, like I said, if you have that Saber Tank, you're going to be able to maybe give it an order, and if it has link targeting array, give it an aim, and then maybe, use take cover, give that a dodge, maybe yourself a dodge, or someone else around you a dodge. Then, yeah, that'd be perfect. And then anytime that you do give him an order, which for, I would say, all of his command cards, you're going to want to give him an order. So he's going to be able to gain that aim from just getting that order. So this is really, really nice. I like Commander Cody. He's going to pack a wallop. So we'll go ahead and take a look real quick at his command cards. So we'll go with, 1, 2, and 3. His 1 pip, Bring It Down. So during his activation, Clone Commander Cody may perform his free actions up to 2 times. So, again, he can do his observation 2 twice. So you could probably do it to the same unit. I'm assuming you can give a single unit 4 observation tokens, or you can give 2 different units 2 observation tokens. And any other free action. So another free action could be, the supply drop, where you can, I'm sure, go, twice into it. Possibly, yeah. That sounds cool. The train studio was talking about that, which would be really fun. And then when a friendly unit declares an attack against an enemy unit that has an observation token, you may spend the token. So, obviously, you may spend the token. Why wouldn't you? So, like I said, if you were to give maybe you gave Vader an observation token twice. So you gave him 4 observation tokens. You can have 4 different units attack, and each one of those units spend an observation token. If you do, the attack gains suppressive. So if the enemy unit is a trooper unit, it's going to gain suppressive. If it's a vehicle that you gave the observation tokens to, and you use an observation token, you're going to gain impact 1. Which is really cool. So, like I said, if you observe Vader twice, because just say it, you're playing Blizzard Force possibly, and you really need to take Vader down or suppress him pretty badly, then, especially on Implacable maybe, and it's his 1 pip, maybe there's a way that he's probably going to go first, never mind, for his 1 pip, but maybe he plays a 2 pip, and you really just need to get him down. Whatever the case is, whatever it is, maybe you use observe 2 twice. He's got 4 observation tokens. So you have, after a friendly unit declares an attack against an enemy unit that has an observed token, you can spend the following. So if you do, the attack gains suppressive. So maybe you have 1 unit that attacks, spends 1 of those, it's going to gain suppressive. Another unit attacks him, it's going to give him another suppression, or 2 more suppression if you get a hit. So that's 4, possibly up to 8 suppression in 1 round on 1 trooper unit, if you can maintain, line of sight and are able to attack him. And then again, you'd be able to have up to impact 4 on a vehicle if you didn't already have a lot of impact. So that's pretty cool. Now, his 2 pip, Have I Ever Let You Down, which is going to give it to Clone Commander Cody. His 1 pip only gives it to him as well, which is good because you can go ahead and use your 2 free observation actions to give out those 4, and then maybe you shoot yourself because you already have an aim, and maybe you have Hunter, maybe they're injured. That's 2 different aims possibly if it was in a different scenario, and you can spend an aim for lethal, and then it will have suppressive attached to it if it's a trooper, or it'd be impact 2 because he's got impact naturally. You spend an observation token on a vehicle, you're gonna have impact 2 with your surge to crit 4 dice, range 1 to 4. Alright, so Clone Commander Cody and 1 trooper unit first 2 pip. While a unit that was issued an order by this card, so Clone Commander Cody and 1 trooper unit, is at range 1 of Clone Commander Cody and suffers wounds from an enemy attack. So if, as far as I understand, Clone Commander Cody and whatever trooper unit you gave the order to is wounded, you can, if Commander Cody is at range 4 and of line of sight to the enemy, he can perform an attack action against that unit. Now, it says range 4, but also, if some of you remember, IG-11, his 1 pip says that instead of attacking normally, he can perform 1 attack against each enemy unit at range 2. And they went on to say that, it's range 1 to 2. So I'm assuming we can safely say that at range 1 to 4, if someone is in line of sight of Commander Cody, then he'll be able to perform that attack if Commander Cody or someone at range 1 of him who was given the order is wounded. So that being said, Obi-Wan is on this card, which would be great to give Obi-Wan the command, or the order, I should say, because of his Guardian ability. So if he stays at range 1 of Commander Cody, and someone shoots at someone else at range 1 of Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan can Guardian, maybe he takes a wound, and then you have Clone Commander Cody be able to take an attack action. You can also, if you needed to, maybe give this to a hostage carrying unit or a box carrying unit. And, anytime they're attacked, then you can make an attack against either probably the person who was attacking them, or maybe their own hostage unit. Oh, no, sorry. It has to be against the same unit that attacked. Sorry. So, yeah, you basically do another attack action against a unit that attacked the hostage carrying or maybe your box carrying unit that you gave the order to. So, that's a good way to kind of try to fight back against your opponent who is targeting a high value trooper unit. And then his 3-pip, Combined Arms, which gives a total of 4 orders out. 2 troopers and 2 vehicles. I'd probably give it to one of the trooper units would be Clone Commander Cody, and then whoever else, and then 2 vehicles. So during his activation, Clone Commander Cody may perform his free actions up to 2 times. So again, the same as his 1-pip. That's why I would say I would give him one of the orders, because when a friendly vehicle unit declares an attack against an enemy unit that has an observation token, they can spend those tokens, and if they do, after the friendly clone trooper unit at range 1, after the attack, a friendly clone trooper unit at range 1 of the vehicle may perform a speed 1 move. So, as far as I understand, you're going to want to go with Cody, use his observation free action twice on whatever, and then your 2 vehicles already have their orders on them. Well, they're probably going to have linked targeting array, probably. So they're already going to have an aim. They're going to be shooting at a unit with observation token. So instead of using your aim necessarily, maybe you just use an observation token so that a clone trooper unit that was either hiding maybe behind the vehicle for line of sight can do a speed 1 move to just be slightly slightly move out from behind the vehicle. So maybe you say you had the rocket launcher and you had a clone trooper unit that was behind, then you go ahead and shoot with the vehicle and you use an observation token. That RPS clone rocket launcher unit can do a speed 1 move to where it can see, because it's cumbersome, so it wouldn't naturally be able to move first. And then maybe you go with them and you use the RPS or you take an aim and then you shoot. And then maybe if your second vehicle was around range 1 of that unit, maybe after you shot with a vehicle, they could move back into cover behind whatever vehicle they were initially behind. So maybe they're behind an ATRT. ATRT shoots, use the observation tokens, the clone trooper moves out. Your opponent goes, then you go, use the RPS, take an aim, shoot with the RPS. Your opponent goes, maybe you go with the other vehicle, you use the observation token, you move the RPS unit back into cover so that they don't get shot. That's just up to you. Or it could be anybody else for that matter. So, yeah. But it's just nice to be able to get those free moves. Maybe you were able to move your saber tank up do a fire action, use an observation token, and then maybe because the base was big enough and you were able to get close enough to a hostage carrying unit or a recover the supplies, middle box, if you were maybe to move in range 1 of whoever was holding it, maybe they were able to claim it or they're getting close to claiming it, you can either move your hostage unit away at speed 1, maybe then another vehicle goes, and then you give them another free speed 1 move, and then during their activation, they can do 2 more speed 1 moves. So they just did 2 speed 3 moves, basically. Yeah, there's lots of ways to be able to use this card to your advantage, and that's why I think Commander Cody's going to go very, very, very well with vehicles over trooper units. But, like I said, that trooper unit can be, again, the hostage unit or whoever it is that you're trying to protect. Maybe someone's shooting at them and you really have got to try and start shooting back at the units that are harassing your own hostage or supply box carrier. Now, we also have 2 other, guys that are going to be coming along with his box, and that is going to be Waxer and Boyle. Waxer gains Scout 1, Discipline 1, and he's going to be the leader. So I'm assuming that you can't have Fives, who is a leader, as your heavy, and then also have Waxer as your personnel because they're both leaders. So I don't think you can necessarily do that because you're only allowed 1. And so whatever unit you use these personnels with, they're going to gain Scout 1, which is pretty cool because, maybe you use them in core units while you have Rex and you use Scouting Party. Maybe I don't know. Maybe if you use Scouting Party with other people, you've got every one of your units that can use Scout, or at least Scout 1 is just really nice in general. So Disciplined 1, anytime you were to give Waxer an order, you're going to be able to remove a suppression token. And then, obviously, with Guardian over here, you're going to be able to use this core unit to Guardian hits from whoever you need to, whatever trooper unit you're trying to guard. So that's pretty cool. That's okay. And, yeah, so let's take a look at some things with Clone Commander Cody. So we've already gone over his 1, 2, and 3 pip. Those are, the orders that I would always take with him. I would also probably always take Synchronized Defensive and Air Support because that's giving it to a vehicle or that's also giving it to a heavy who has Field Commander. So maybe you have the Saber Tank and you've got Ayla Secura on there for Field Commander. Then you were to give the order to Ayla Secura, and then maybe you had another vehicle that you could have Clone Commander Cody, direct to. So, and then with Synchronized Offensive, you give it to a vehicle that Clone Commander Cody can't direct, and then you direct another vehicle. So your vehicles are always going to be able to gain that aim if they have linked targeting array. So it's really, really cool, that these are going to be able to do so much. Also, with air support, it just says once this round, at the end of the activation of a friendly clone trooper commander, which Cody would be, or a friendly field commander unit, it can perform an attack using the following weapon. So maybe, you were somehow able to attack with Clone Commander Cody, or, you gave it to the heavy, and then you waited a little while just because you wanted the heavy to gain the aim, and then you somehow go ahead and draw Cody, then you use the observation token, you take an aim, you shoot, and then after that, you've got beam 2. Maybe you shoot the, unit you just shot at again, and then 2 other units that are next to him. So there's lots of good ways to be able to use air support because you're going to have vehicles more than likely. And then I just have Attack of the Clones because, again, he is also a clone trooper, and he doesn't have any kind of way to get rid of suppression from anybody. So that's another good thing to do to be able to get rid of suppression, or just give out some search tokens. Now, if we look at the command upgrade slot, aggressive tactics is okay, but when we look at, the infantry support platform already surges the lat, for the most part, it doesn't surge here, but I don't know if you're going to take Clone Commander Cody and a lat, but you're probably going to take the Saber class fighter tank. So aggressive tactics could be okay. you know, but all your other vehicles pretty much are surging. So sometimes it's hard to want to pay 15 points for aggressive tactics. It just depends on kind of what vehicle you're taking and what kind of points you've got left. Commanding presence could be great for him as well for the barks in case he needed to do that. With his two vehicles, he could, have commanding presence and give it to the barks, and then maybe have an ATRT that he's around, or maybe he's got the saber around him, and then you've got two barks that you can have given the orders to, and then maybe you direct the saber tank. So there's a lot of different ways that you can, use that card and commanding presence. Esteemed leader, he's not that important in my opinion, but sure, maybe. Improvised orders is always good. Inspiring presence, he's only got courage too, so that doesn't matter. A lead by example could be really good. Vigilance could be okay because he has take cover. Underworld connections, obviously, you don't really have. No. And then strict orders, that could also be okay to do. Now let's look at the training slots. So if we duck and cover, I don't think you're gonna need endurance. Maybe hunter is probably what I would equip to him. Into the fray, no. Offensive push, he's already got tactical, target 1. So every time you're gonna give him an order, he gets a name. So offensive push, possibly. That way he gains that second aim for lethal. But maybe if you have hunter, you're gonna gain that aim anyway. And the reason I also have hunter, I would say hunter, was because maybe, like I said, you gave your 2-pip to a hostage unit and someone was attacking your hostage unit and or you got some wounds and you were to make an attack, you can use the hunter to give yourself that aim, as far as I understand, because when you're attacking a wounded trooper unit, during the roll attack dice step, you're going to gain an aim. So that's why I would say hunter is going to be best on him. Overwatch, I highly doubt you're going to be taking a lot of standbys, but, that's how you plan on playing him. Protector, he doesn't have Guardian, so you don't need that. Seize the Initiative could be really good on him. Situational Awareness, maybe not. Tenacity, no. And Up Close and Personal, no, because you're going to probably be shooting long range. Those are the things that I would either take or ignore. Probably Hunter is going to be your best bet. Now, if we look at the gear slots, kind of upgrades that would be good on him, not Ascension Cables. He's got Jump, but, if there's a ton of difficult terrain, like a ton of it, then sure, but with the way that things are now, Ascension Cables probably not. Electric Binoculars probably not. I'd go with Portable Scanner over Electric Binoculars because it already allows him to spend 1 action to hand out 2 tokens. Instead of having Electric Binoculars, you have to spend an action doing that, and then you'd have to also spend another action to do Take Cover. So you might as well do Portable Scanner to gain Take Cover 2 and only have to spend 1 action to do that. Emergency Stims, probably not. Environmental Gear, no. Grappling Hooks, no. Like I said, definitely Portable Scanner. And Targeting Scopes could definitely be a good one as well. Recon Intel, maybe, depends. And then Prepared Supplies, I would probably go with Targeting Scopes and or Portable Scanners before I would go with Prepared Supplies and Recon Intel. Yeah, that's kind of what I think would be great with Commander Cody. Now, I did do a few lists I'll go over real quick just to kind of give, some ideas. So, I have Clone Commander Cody. He doesn't really have anything on him. I did give the Clone Commander Aggressive Tactics. Now, if you didn't want this, you don't have to necessarily have it. And the reason I gave Clone Commander here, the generic guy, Aggressive Tactics, is because he has direct a Clone Trooper unit, and then Fives is also going to be able to coordinate to any one of these guys. So that's where they would get those, aggressive tactic, those surge tokens. And with, maybe synchronized defensive, you decide to go with him somehow. Because maybe you use this clone commander to give out an order to the infantry support the ISP. Man, I can't talk. I'm sorry. And then he is going to also coordinate in order to possibly Fives, who can coordinate it to these Clone 1 troopers. So you'd be able to give out surge tokens due to that, which is why I have the aggressive tactics on him. Then I have R2 in here, almost glued to Clone Commander Cody, because you're going to basically always want to have some heavies or some sort of vehicles that need repairing whenever you bring Cody. So that's why I have R2 in there. I have the Elite Armor Pilot, Twin Missile Pods, and Link Targeting Array because, for at least the Synchronized Offensive and the combined arms, they're going to be getting aims. And then he's going to be able to direct one of them anyway, so they're going to be able to get an aim from that. Then you've got, just some clone engineers to be able to go in and continue healing your line of sight blockers as well as your heavy impact units. And then you've got the RSP or the RPS unit that is going to peekaboo with that possible 3-pip. Now, you don't have to obviously have the RPS. You could just go with something else. If you wanted to change this around and just go with maybe the DP3, and instead of the clone engineer, you were to go with Waxer, because the phase 1s are a Courage 1 unit. So maybe you used, the clone commander here to give an order to, or direct an order to the phase 2s that has 5s, and then so 5s would be able to coordinate to phase 1s with Waxer, who could take off a suppression. Yeah, and they've already got scout and stuff, so they're going to be able to move in, and that's good with the DP23 because they're only range 1 to 2, but it is Pierce, so that's pretty nice. And that's just a 9-act list with 2 infantry support platforms to kind of give you some cover. I decided to go with Clone Commander Cody and the Saber Tank. I gave him improvised orders this time, Hunter, and Portable Scanner to gain that take cover 2. I have the Saber Tank with Ayla Secura so that she gains the Field Commander and can benefit from the 2-pip that has Beam, the Air Support, right there. I've also got the High Energy Shells and Link Targeting Array because either you're going to be directing it with Clone Commander Cody, so you're going to be able to direct with Clone Commander Cody. The Saber Tank is going to consistently gain an aim, so then maybe you just recover and shoot each time so that you always have these high energy shells, which is cheaper than having to pay 14 points for this one. And it's also got critical but also high velocity, so that's why I would just go with high energy shells and just recover each time. And then you also have, with Ayla Secura, you have Inspire 2. And she doesn't tap or anything. So you're going to be able to kind of get rid of suppression off Clone Commander Cody or anyone else. Again, this time with this list, I also have the normal Clone Commander who will direct the 5s, who will directs Waxer, who's got the Discipline 1. So he'll be able to take that suppression off. I have 2 Phase 1 Clone Troopers to kind of generate some tokens. And then R2 is in there to kind of heal either the Saber Tank or the ATRT. And then I have the ATRT on there because, so you have Clone Commander Cody who's going to direct the Saber Tank. You have, that's one order out. You have Clone Commander who's going to give 5s, who's going to give the Phase 1s an order out. So you have 3 orders out without even putting an order down, or a command card down. And then you go a Synchronized Offensive to give your second vehicle, or your ATRT, in order. And then he's going to be able to give out an order to the Phase 1 here. Yeah. And so you only have 1, 2, 3, 4 orders left in the bag. That's not bad. That's pretty good order control off that 1-pip. And then, with air support, again, you give it to the Saber Tank. Maybe if ATRT is, maybe if Clone Commander Cody was in the middle of the ATRT and the Saber Tank, he'd be able to, be the director, obviously, between the two and give maybe the ATRT an order. So now still both vehicles have an order out. And then maybe instead of using air support on the Saber Tank, you use it after Clone Commander Cody, or whenever you need it, obviously. And then R2-D2 is still there to be in the bag whenever he needs to heal. And then, you've already got an order on 5s, the DC-15 trooper here, and one of the other clone troopers. Or maybe you had given, this clone commander an order with the Synchronized Offensive. And then that way he can use bolster on, the Phase 1s or on whatever. Yeah, but there's lots of synergies here and lots of ways to be able to deal out damage and keep going and have order control. And then again, maybe with the have ever let you down, you give that to the phase ones here who can also lose the suppression, and maybe they've got a box or a hostage or something like that. So yeah, it, I just think you're going to need at least 2 vehicles whenever you play Clone Commander Cody. Let's look at another one real quick with 3 ATRTs this time. And so Clone Commander Cody with the Improvised Orders, Hunter, and Portable Scanners. You have the ATRT here with Rotary Blaster and Link Targeting Array, and that's the ATRT that you're going to be able to, or that I would stick always next to Clone Commander Cody. These other two can just kind of do what they need to, but you do have Impact 3 with these guys. And then you have R2D2, who can either stay with this ATRT or the other ATRTs, follow behind, stay that line of sight blocker. You have the Clone Commander with Aggressive Tactics so that he can give an order to 5s, who can then give an order to maybe the phase 2s here. Now, I have Boyle because, 1, we haven't really used him in anything just yet, and 2, he's got Guardian. So maybe for, Clone Commander's 2-pip, you give him the order, and then you give Boyle the order, and since Boyle has a Guardian, maybe you Guardian another trooper unit, you take a wound, and then Clone Commander Cody can take that attack when he needs to. And then I also have the phase 2 Mortar Trooper on here because, with, again, his 1-pip, let's take that down real quick. With his 1-pip bringing it down, whenever, you can use his observation free action twice, and maybe you gave it to a trooper unit. Like I said, how many suppression you could give out? We'll add a phase 2 Mortar Trooper to that, and yeah, you've got something coming at you. And then I have a strike team on here for 10 activations, so it's quite a lot of activations. And if you wanted to go to 9, which maybe you could, I would give maybe the phase 1s, maybe another Mortar Trooper with Boyle, so that way if you do have to use Guardian, you've got a few more bodies. And then with 5s or the phase 2 here, maybe you go ahead and go with Waxer. That way you've got both of them. You've got all Courage 2 units. All of your units are Courage 2. You've got Reliable 1 on all your phase 1s. You've got Clone Commander who can give out even more with Bolster and Aggressive Tactics. You've got the ATRTs, which all surge offensive and defensively. Then you got Clone Commander Cody over here with, Improvised Orders. Maybe you don't need Improvised Orders. Maybe you don't want it, but I had it just in case you pulled R2D2. And yeah, you can go with that instead. So maybe you go with a clone, either engineer or a clone medic with your phase 2s here. You still have a pretty huge bid. And then maybe with, the phase 2s here. Let's see. Sorry I'm doing this live with you guys. It's just, there's a lot of other things I'm sure you could do. You could probably, again, put, linked targeting array on one of these. Or maybe with R2D2, you go with comms relay, because maybe you want some of his command cards as well. Or, I'm sure there's a lot of other extra points you could put somewhere, obviously. But yeah, that's just an idea. You've got all the vehicles, and the fact that you can direct, it doesn't matter if it's support or heavy. You can try to use as many of those command cards as possible to your advantage. Like the 2-pip here, like the 1-pip there. Cody's can do really well. I'm expecting to see a lot of him on the table, especially since Impact is going to be huge right now. You're going to see a ton of Clone Commander Cody. I feel like a lot of R2 and a lot of, where'd they go? I'm going to say engineers. You're probably going to see a lot of engineers too because of it. So also, I think with as much Impact as we're seeing, we're not seeing as many Pierce. So we'll probably also want some Pierce. I don't know. It's just, there's so much that goes on in this game. It's awesome. So go ahead and subscribe. Also, go to the Discord and become a member. Head over to the Patreon to get things early and just, take a look and support the channel. And go to theburnacademy.com for 15 bucks a month to be able to get the workouts that you need to be able to get stronger or lose weight, because yeah, that is what they're there for. Hopefully, oh wait, I didn't go over one with Obi-Wan Kenobi. Oh crap. So yeah, if you haven't already though, subscribe, because I'm all over the place. Now you have one with Cody and Obi-Wan, because obviously his 2-pip I feel like would go great with Obi-Wan Kenobi. But you have, and Clone Commander Cody again would be able to give out dodge tokens with his take cover, so that's going to be even better. So he can, give a dodge token out to Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then, he's got Force Reflexes, Force Barrier, and Offensive Defensive Stance, mostly to Guardian and to do what he can to keep everyone else alive. I have the ATRT here with the laser cannon to be alongside Clone Commander Cody consistently. And then I have the R2D2 here to heal. I've got 2 other ATRTs to be able to hide the DC-15s and the Clone Engineer Clone Trooper units and get them in closer to do what they need to do. But I've also, you're going to be trying to use Obi-Wan Kenobi to Guardian what your opponent can shoot if they try to get past the ATRTs. But maybe you just sacrifice the ATRTs to move in everybody and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, I don't know. There's so much to do. I think Obi-Wan Kenobi with Clone Commander Cody, obviously, there's probably good thematic lists you could do out there, but I was just in the ATRT slash vehicle mode. So that's why I've included at least 2 to 3 vehicles with Commander Cody, even with Obi-Wan Kenobi, no matter what. Still giving you 9 activations at 800 points, and you've still got, at least an extra body on everybody and upgrades on everybody as well. So yeah, all right, guys. I will see you next week for the Tauntaun video. Definitely be a subscriber and subscribe now. Leave a comment down below to be entered in to win the $20 gift card. So basically, in order to win the $20 gift card, you've got to be a subscriber and you have to leave a comment on any of these videos. And hopefully, guys, I will see you another time. I definitely, if I can, want to make sure that I shout out the best people possible, the Patreon members. So thank you so much to Anthony and Kitsune for your monthly donations, and hopefully these videos have been helping, and I really do appreciate all that you guys do. Hopefully the force will be with you, and enjoy your week and weekend coming up. All right, guys. Peace.